Hey guys, how you doing? Previously what we worked on very simple movements. We did a video on quite simple movements. For example, we did a video on the basic guard. We did a video on the basic punch from the basic guard, for example. We looked at the advancing stance, we looked at the advancing step. We did the advancing stance from frontal stance, and we did the V-step. We worked on sidling stance, we did an overview of kicks, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to start combining things together. And when you combine, for example, two simple things, you have one complex thing. And the goal in Wing Tsun is what we're trying to do is we're trying to use the least amount of energy or have the greatest payback for the amount of energy that we put in. We want to amplify our force, we want to amplify our input force, and this is known as a mechanical advantage. So what we're going to do today is we're going to blend the basic punch with the advancing step. Now, it does two things. One, it reduces the distance between myself and the target. So for the moment, Michal has the pad up. So for the moment, this reduces the distance between me and the target. It allows me to hit the target if I do it like this. Now, in this situation, it only reduced the distance between us. It didn't actually give me any more force. Whereas if I do it again, it should give me more force. Now, we look at the difference that made the difference. The thing I did differently the second time was that I made contact with the target before my lead foot landed on the floor. If my lead foot lands first, and then I make contact, I only have the power of my arm. If I make contact before my lead foot lands on the floor, or if I make contact a little bit before or at the same time, then my force is amplified. I have greater force. So we have to look at, well, why is this? Well, force is mass multiplied by acceleration. Now, we can't really affect the mass. That's pretty fixed. When we have good stability, our mass is fixed. We can't really affect that, but we can affect the acceleration. So let's have a look. Let's say we're in a car at 10 kilometers an hour. And when we're in the car at 10 kilometers an hour, well, let's say we throw a ball from the car at 10 kilometers an hour. Well, then the reference point, the target, the thing which is being hit, that's actually hit with the equivalent of 20 kilometers an hour. So now this is the same thing with our step and with our punch. If I punch at 10 kilometers an hour, I have this much force. If I step at 10 kilometers an hour, land, and then punch at 10 kilometers an hour, again, it's only 10 kilometers an hour. However, if I make contact before my foot lands, well then, the target has been hit with the equivalent of, and this is only an example, the equivalent of 20 kilometers an hour. We have greater force. And I've only chosen something very basic, a basic step, a basic punch, and to show how the output force, the impact force is amplified when you do it correctly like this. But this is a simple example. It's good for beginners. It's really reasonably simple to do. But then we can expand this. The same rule applies for everything that we do, whether it's different footwork, different hand movements, different leg movements. The same rule applies all the time. And we'll be looking at that in further videos. That's really it, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Michal.